your father actually killed your mother, but you made a pretty amazing choice to put love into action for your father later in life.
Yeah, well, I can't take any credit for it. It was God who did it. The Lord spoke to me and said I had to find my dad. I had to be free of the unforgiveness and bitterness of what had happened as a child.
We've got a unofficial Vision ambassador on the line with us, the amazing Peter. You're sitting out there with the birds, mate.
I am sitting out with the birds.
I love it. It sounds like you're sitting in a beautiful place there, Eaton Hills in Queensland. Now, what's an unofficial Vision ambassador do?
Well, I go out and do some outreach quite often, every week actually, and I use the Vision bookmarks and the Vision wristbands, and along with other tracks and things, but I use the Vision material. I have recently been saying to people, when I hand them a bookmark, I say, picture it like one of those electronic door openers that you put in the little slot and then the door will open in your resort or something like that. Because when you enter into Vision, it's just a huge place of beautiful music, great teaching, answers to prayer. I see time and time again through the material on Vision Radio.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to hear that you're opening those doors, Peter, for people to, I guess, experience all that Vision has to offer. And I mean, even the fact that you're giving away prayer bookmarks, I mean, that's reminding them that there's a prayer service available. There's so much.
Yep.
But this Visionathon, our theme is love in action. And I've got to say, I mean, I'm just reading some of the notes here about you and your story. And love in action is profound. I mean, just tell us briefly a bit of your story from your early childhood where father actually killed your mother, but you made a pretty amazing choice to put love into action for your father later in life.
Yeah, well, I can't take any credit for it. It was God who did it. The Lord spoke to me and said I had to find my dad. I'd only ever visited him once in the 20-odd years that he'd spent in prison.
Wow.
And then the Lord said to me, I had to find my dad, and I found him in the hospital in the intensive heart care ward. And it was that obedience to what God said. And in that, then, he was showing me that I had to be free of the unforgiveness and bitterness of what had happened as a child before he passed away, so that I had that opportunity while he was alive to do that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I cooked him some meals and wrote some letters for his family because he couldn't write anymore, and sat him down one day and said, let's organise what you want for your funeral before you pass away, because it'll be the only chance you're going to get to really influence your family in a good way. And we did that, and then he said, I'd like to be buried in the same plot as your mother.
Wow.
So I had to go to my three brothers and say, well, my vote is yes, and that's where he's buried.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That is love in action right there, Peter.
Yeah, that's incredible. What a story. Well, Peter, we're going to be chatting with Eric a bit later this hour, who produces the story, and I think that he needs to connect with you and hear your story, because there's a lot more to that, but that's just amazing what you've just shared with us. Thank you.
You know, I'm just so impacted by, God's love shining through you, Peter, because, we often have that story ourselves with God where we're far off and we're undeserving. But God so loved the world that he gave his son so that we can have that mercy. Yeah. And you've gone and extended that to your dad where he's been afar off. You've been the love of Jesus, and you continue to do that through giving out bookmarks. You know what I love is, well, as you said, you heard from God and you were obedient. And I want to ask right now, have you heard from God what you can do in this moment in Visionathon? Can you ask him, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to give? What can I do to make these stories intersect with your love and have more people appreciate the power of God? It's about connecting the ministry of God, and, Vision Media is wanting to be all over Australia with the united voice of the gospel. So I just want to thank people who have given. I want to thank Moira in Great Western Victoria. Yes, I'm going to go Victoria. And she has said, thank you so much. I love you all. I thank God that he lifted me up out of the mud and has given me life in him. And that's exactly what Peter's done with his dad. That's what Jesus has done for you and me. God, tell us what we can give and give us the ability to obey that and really make a difference with our donations.
I love this. Peter, thank you so much for your story, brother. It is, your story sowing that seed of what God has done in your life by you being so faithful and talking about that is sowing a seed in other people's lives, and not just one that is around Visionathon, but one that is producing good gospel fruit in other people's lives. You can only produce that fruit when you step out. So we're asking you right now to step out with us in faith for the Peters out there in the world. We're asking you to be part of it with your tax-deductible donation. Become a monthly giver as well. You can do that on 1-800-316-316. You can go to vision.org.au, click on the banner right there, or open up the free Vision Christian Media app and click donate. It's Hold On, Katie Nicole.